Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the 216th episode of Twisted Strands. I am JD, or your host, Jeannie, whatever you want to call me is good. This episode brought to you by Cape May Winery's white wine. It's good. For me to tolerate a wine, it has to be not so dry and a bit sweet, and this suits the bill, so yum. Anyway. Still a bit dry. Ugh. Anyway, yes, I am sorry about the almost month-long relapse into, let's face it, not having the oomph to record or the ability to rise up to the occasion and talk to you. I cannot predict when I have what it takes to record, so I appreciate you coming back. If you're a long-time viewer, I appreciate it, and if you haven't watched the show before, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I know I'm a small podcast in a big podcast pond, so more like an ocean, but anyway, that's where it is. And I want to say thank you to everybody who participated in the Shark and Beach and Ocean Month. All of your projects were awesome. I'm going to craft up something nice and pick someone for the next podcast, and there will be a drawing next podcast. So thanks to everybody who participated. It was so nice to see other people enjoying the craft along. So that was awesome. Now, what have I been up to? I've been doing a bunch of cross stitching. I've been doing a lot of coloring. I was inspired by the painting class that I took in Cape May to do more watercolor, so borrowed some books from the library, replaced some brushes that were messed up, and yeah, so I'm enjoying exploring color in other ways, which is always a good thing, because arts and crafts are what make the world go round, right? Some say money, some say love. I say all those things plus arts and crafts. So, anyway, I appreciate everybody who said anything on the last podcast. Sorry if I didn't respond to you. Like I said, I was on vacation, so I was a little bit busy having fun, and I wanted to answer Kina's question about what lipstick I was wearing at the time, and that answer is I was wearing the Kat Von D Everlasting Liquid Makeup in the color LUV. So it was love with a U and no E. So there you go, Kina. It's a nice lipstick. I don't plan on buying any more of those liquid lipsticks because the smell that they have is hit or miss. I have the black color also, and it is nasty. It's called Witches, the black color of Kat Von D's Everlasting lipstick, and smells like a witch's ass. It really does. It's nasty. But there you go. Now that I'm back and all that, I'm going to show you yet another thing that I bought, and it's fun and silly. I bought Karen cakes. Is that what they call? Yes, Karen cakes. Now, this color, I bought about 5 or 6 of them because I love them and that's all they had, so I bought all of them, and this is Fairy Cake. It's a little brighter in real life, but there you go. My little camera in the dark room can only do so much. And this is lemon lemon lime. So it's got more of a green tint. So I bought these at the local Michael's. They're an exclusive to Michael's. So you need to go to Michael's to get them. Thankfully it's not a Walmart exclusive or something like that. Anyway, so that's what I purchased. I didn't bring any of my cross-stitch stuff up with me, sorry. But let me show you some finished objects. Now, this you remember. Let me pull up my notes so I don't feel a fool. There we go. This is the basic half double crochet hat by Mbaka. Sorry. Designed using the purple mystery yarn, and I think it was a J hook or an H hook. But anyway, this is done. It's not very stretchy, but that's crochet for you. And then I hope I'm in screen. Anyway, this is the Little Boy Blue ribbed baby hat by Tanya Wagner. And I made 2 of these. This one is the first one that I finished. And at the time I finished it, I was cat sitting a beautiful chartreuse kitty named Angus. And I was so happy to finish this hat in a good time that I tried to make him wear the hat, and it didn't go well. He wasn't mean. He doesn't have a mean bone in his body, so it's not that. He was just displeased, and then he wouldn't sit for me so I could take a picture of him. So that happened. So beware, if you ever hire me for cat sitting, your cat will be treated like royalty, and I will pet them and love on them, but I might make them wear baby hats that I'm knitting for charity. So anyway, that's the first one, and this one I finished in record time. I started this during a barbecue. I can't smell it anymore, but I thought that the smoke and the ash would get in there, but it didn't. So this is the same pattern and the same yarn, and isn't it cool how close they look? I mean, really. I must get really good gauge or something like that, if that's such a thing. I mean, look. Almost identical. Oh my god. So I'm gonna donate these baby hats to a hat charity that I've been donating to and talking about for years. It's the Emily's Hats for Hope. I'm gonna wash these up and I'm gonna send these out. So total of 2, 4, 6. 6 hats are going to go out once I've washed them to Emily's Hats for Hope. I'm also going to share those in the group Dragonfly Soars by Vicky, because she is having a contest or a drive for the hats. So I thought to myself, well, holy crap, why don't I join that? So I've been sharing them there too. And another finished object, and this one brought me great pleasure as it looked so pretty when I was finally done with it. Haven't taken a picture of it. This is the Lighthouse cloth. Isn't that nice? This is Fantasy Natural, and the pattern is unfortunately not really readily available, but you can find it. If you go to the comments for the pattern Lighthouse Cloth by Rhonda White, you can find it under my projects if you like. Again, name is JD, Jadee, and that is, if you look in the comments of a discontinued pattern, someone smarter than me on the web has found this thing called the Wayback Machine, and they post a link there, so you can knit this lovely dishcloth. And I really liked working on that. So those are my finished objects. So that leaves me with some more whips to work on, but I haven't started or picked up any of those because I'm trying to do this for a baby cousin. Someone in my dad's family is a lovely lady who's very sweet. I'm just not very close with her, but she had a lovely baby girl, and I said, screw it, I want to make a baby sweater, because baby sweaters are freaking adorable and fun. And let's face it, I could use with a little stash busting, right? So anyway, I picked out this hoot cardigan. And I'm using Plymouth Encore. Let me catch the designer's name. Brenna Kotar. Now, it's a paid pattern, and it doesn't have any design support, so I'm really dependent on other people's projects for this. But, as you can see, there's the little owl. And I've picked out 2 sets of buttons for this project. When it's done, I'm just about done with the increases. And the pattern, like I said, is maybe for confident people. And I'm confident in my knitting, so I bought it anyway and I started it. So there's the little armhole. I'm making the 6-month size, because the baby was only just born about a month and a half ago. So there's the arms. And I've been working away on this one. I hope this isn't too big for a baby. I have no idea. I don't live with a baby, thankfully. So I've got no one to compare it with. But I'm making it anyway for fun, as a gift. And so far I haven't had any issues with the pattern, except for how she writes it a little bit odd. But other than that, I'm really pleased with my results, and I hope it fits the baby sooner or later. And so that's my whip. I'm going to pick up an old whip, but I might start making dishcloths or fingerless mitts or scarves for... oh, what the hell is it? Oh. There is a craft fair, and it takes place in November, and I'm thinking I want to make some stuff to sell, because let's face it, I could use a little extra money being unemployed still. And that's about it right now. I am doing another large weaving project. For me, large is where I bring out the big 32-inch rigid head loom that my dad graciously purchased me. And I'm making another prayer shawl, and it's a large rectangle, and I'm making it out of blue red heart in soft, the softer acrylic that they have, and yeah, and then I'm using regular red heart for the blue part, the warp, and I'm using mystery white yarn. So it adds a bit of adventure. But anyway, it's all worsted weight, and I warped it yesterday and started weaving it, and I'm just doing plain. The colors are the thing about this project. And I'm trying to get it done for this Thursday, so I'm afraid there will only be photos of this project. So I'll try to take some decent photos after I wash it, so that I can show you at least. And if you're interested in seeing what I'm working on, feel free to follow me on Instagram. I agree that Instagram is a little bit messed up right now with their, what is it, the algorithm or something like that? Some crap where the times and dates people post their lovely pictures is messed up for no reason. I don't know why they're so screwed up. It's dumb. Sometimes I find a post that's really cool and I look at it and it's 2 days ago, but I'm seeing it first in my whatever. Ugh. Instagram, get your shit together, would ya? I don't think they'll listen to me. Anyway, so yes, there's lots of cross-stitching going on, lots of coloring. I find myself looking at the coloring books for adults and saying, oh, let's just admit it, this is stuff and junk. Moving right along. Stuff and junk. So, yes, cross-stitch has been happening. I'm working on a really cute Mill Hill kit that's a Cavalera. It's a skull, it's a sugar skull, and it's really awesome, and I find I really enjoy working with perforated paper. And it's really a nice, neat, stiff piece of paper, and the holes are just so easy to work with. So I'm really finding it pleasurable to work on that stuff. So I've been loving the Mill Hill kit. I watched a video on how to do the beaded parts, and the instant I saw that I'm fiddling with an Ipsy sample, I am so sorry. Hands down. I found out that really you just work on the non-beaded crap before you move on to the beaded stuff, and it's not rocket science. So that video really helped me. I think I ended up subscribing to the woman that showed me the video because I was just like floored by how much she put in. I mean, it was an hour-long video. She told you how to make it into an ornament or a magnet or what have you. She really did a good job on it. I don't know if I can find it again though. Sorry. Oh well. Just look for Mill Hill beading. I think you'll find it quite quickly. It was the first page of results. And what else? I did finish the seahorse on my beach that I was doing, and that's beach, not bitch, okay? So yes, I'm doing lots of cross-stitching and coloring, and let's go back to what I was saying about coloring books, because I'm 5, and I easily distract myself. And what I find with my distaste of the adult coloring books is so many teeny tiny little lines, you know? So, and I'm looking at it like I ain't fucking coloring that. No! So that's when I took out the paintbrushes and the watercolors and I went, dip, pigment. So that's what I did with it. And you know what, I liked the results. I used to be an art student years and years ago. So I have a lot of that shit left over. I also wanted to study anime art on my own time. And so I bought a lot of markers. And I liked colored pencils a while ago. So I have tons of art shit. Paint. Brushes, I kind of lost a bunch of those, but I replaced a few. Just so much stuff. And so whenever I don't see a color I like in one medium, I make it in another. So I've been having some fun with that, and I'm trying to get back into watercolor painting because I think it's pretty. It's a challenge because it's It's a challenge. That's all I can say. And I'm determined to try and insert a little more art into my life, along with all the crafts that I do. And I'm still looking for a job that will satisfy my mind and not dampen my spirit. So basically office where I can just sit down and do stuff for 8 hours a day, basically. That's what I want. Something that subsidizes the art and crafts. So, still looking. Like I said in my rather weak introduction, I've been a bit under the weather mentally, so I'm trying to get my head out of my ass and stop putting myself down and all that. So, anyway, anybody who... Sorry. Anybody who watches my program or follows me on Facebook or Instagram or even Plurk. I've started plurking again. That's how much I want to talk to people. And, you know, my contact info is at the end of the podcast. And Facebook is the easiest way to get a hold of me. JD Huff there. And I do have an email. I do have a blog, of course, Twisted Strands with an extra s.blogspot.com, yada yada. And there is a donate button on the website. Feel free to use it or not. Clearly, I'm not paying a lot of money except for postage for stuff to send out to you lovely people. Oh, and what have I been watching and reading? I've watched lots of shark videos. They've had a full turnover of all of the shark things that I've watched, and I did finish a mystery book, but it was something totally different, and it was called Dark Film, I think. I'm actually using my tablet to do the Goodreads thing. Oh, you can't see that shit. There we go. Looking on my books. It's called Night Film. And it's by Marisha Pessil. Sorry if I slaughtered that. Anyway, I finished reading that book, and it was one of those ones that kept me up at night because I didn't want to put it down. It's not the bestest, but I really liked it. It was very compelling in my review of it. I'm going to admit that I was a little bit disappointed in the ending. And I don't want to let any spoilers out, but I wish I could have seen the conversation that was supposed to happen at the end of the book between the protagonist and his target. That doesn't spoil anything. But yes, I wanted to see what that was, but she ended the book right before it happened, so that's all. I really 5 skeins, seriously. And I've watched some movies, and mostly horror or sharks. Really? Are you surprised? No. I just finished a movie. What the hell was it? It was on Chiller Theater. Damn it. Hold on. Hold the phone. I'll find this information for you somehow, kids. I won't let you down. Chiller TV, come on. Schedule. What the fuck did I just watch? Blood Night, The Legend of Mary Hatchet. I watched it, and it was kind of dumb. A lot of the movies you see on Chiller are really stupid, but that's why I like it. What the hell did I see? Oh man, I would have liked to see Gallo Walkers. Oh well, they repeat stuff a lot too. But anyway, there's a lot of sharks. Sci-Fi had a marathon of the Z Nation. And I know there's a more compelling, dramatic story about zombies being told by AMC with their Walking Dead, but I really do like Z Nation. It's pretty cool, and I like the story, and I got to know a lot about it yesterday because I was warping my loom. That takes me at least an hour or more because of the width of the project and the loom and all that. So yeah. A lot of Z Nation was watched yesterday, and I liked it. And they repeated the entire quadrilogy of Sharknado the day before, so I watched a lot of that. So for Sharknado 4, we get introduced to Gary Busey, who is hilarious, and he plays April, the protagonist's wife. He plays her father, and I think that's just really funny. So anyway, that's what I've been up to, entertaining myself with markers, pencils, and all that, and paints, and thread, and yarn, and what else is new. And trying to find a job so I don't stay in my dad's hair all day. I'm sure he would not mind my getting a job. Anyway, that's about it for now. And while I was lying awake into the late hours, or early hours, of the morning, I thought of a new motto for the podcast, but I completely forgot it. So I'm just gonna stick with the old one until I figure out the new one. I want